All right, guys, this is my videos. It's slow, man. You know what I look like. So we are talking about function word problems. We're going to talk about linear equation word problems. You can write that down. But let me just, as you write down linear equation word problems, let me zoom on over to our course sequence, scope and sequence, as they call it. We did intro to functions. That was easy. Now we're doing function word problems. And then my favorite functions versus non-functions is next week, right before we go on break. All right, so let's really dig in. So we are going to let's look at this one here, which no one got right. 2 people tried and 2 people, oh, let's not see who those 2 people were, but it's all right. They're going to get it, right? So, Suraj took a slice of pizza from the freezer and put it in the oven. The pizza's temperature in degrees Celsius as a function of time in minutes is graphed. How fast did the oven heat the pizza? Okay, so this is so good. I wish we would have done this before our guest speaker, because this is like a window into how to use the things that we're learning. So who knows how fast the oven heated the pizza? What part of the function is that? Well, there's a video here. You're here with me. I will tell you. How fast is a key word for slow. All right. So whenever we do the word problem videos, I'm giving you some insight, but I'm giving you something to start a list that you're going to add to. So if you see how fast did something happen, that's going to be slow, how slow as well. In general, we're looking for a rate word, the rate at which something happened, that's a slope. So now you know that we want to find the slope of the line. So how do we find the slope of a line? Well, I'm going to look for the 2 points. So I see 210 right there. And then following up, the next point I see, I don't really see a lot of points here to choose from, is the next one would be 4.530. So 210 and then 4.530 up here. So we got, write those out. And let me show you my slope shortcut. Find the change here, and that would be plus 20. Find the change here, plus 2.5. So my slope is 20 over 2.5. Which is, what is 20 divided by 2.5? Is that 8? Something like 8, right? Let's see. Was it 8? Yeah, okay. So that's the slope one. How fast did Rip Van Winkle's beard grow? How long? What's each descent by 50 meters? So let's do this one too. Okay, and we can see there's some cross multiplying going on. So the slope is for 1 unit of change. So let's write that down. Slope, what's the definition? It's the change in y for 1 unit change in x. So that 8, in the last problem was 8 degrees for every 1 second or whatever it was. I don't remember. Now this one says, how long was each descent by 50 meters? So we see elevation is 50 meters. We want to know how long. That's the time. So time is x, and it is our variable x. So we're going to say, we want to know how long was the descent by every 50 meters, right? We don't know. But what we can do is set it equal. This is the ratio we want. And the ratio we can figure out is the slope. The slope is a ratio. Let's write that down, a ratio. Okay, so what is the slope? The slope is, so I have some easy points here, 0, 8,500, and I have this point here. What is that point? We're counting by 1, 2, 3, 4. We're counting by 100, so it's 16, 1, or it's 1,700, 0, right? So I have 1,700, 0 for my x-intercept. Now I have my y-intercept. So what's the change in y? It is subtracting 8,500. What's the change in x? We are adding 1,700. So slope is negative 8,500 over 1,700. Unsimplified, of course, but if I wanted to make an easy simplification, I could cross off the zeros there. Now I can rewrite this as 50 over x equals negative 85 over 17. Are you with me? All right. Then what would we do from there to solve this problem? Anytime you have a fraction equal to a fraction, which we do here, you cross multiply. So I multiply the 50 times 17, and I multiply the 85 times x, so we get negative 85x equals whatever 50 times 17 is. What is that? All right, I'm not pulling out a calculator. Okay, 85, oh, which was 50 times 7. Okay, and now what do? We divide. Boom, so x equals, that would have to be, 10, right? Not 100, just be 10. 85 times 10 is 850, right? So the answer, 10 seconds. 10 seconds, look at that. Okay, so that was function word problems. Now let's move on to linear equation word problems. Okay, so write this down. Harry took out a loan from the bank. The variable D models Harry's remaining debt after T months after he took out the loan. How much does Harry pay back each month? Hey, whoa, almost wrote on the board. We just have another, what word? You know what that is for? You guessed it, that's for slope again. So each, and we've said this before, but it bears repeating, each, per, for every. These are also rate words that indicate they want the slope. So how much does he pay back each month? That's the slope. So that would be negative 200. Boom, done. So that must be why 4 people got that right. But let's look at one that nobody got right. Ever since Renata moved to her new home, she's been keeping track of the height of the tree outside her window. The variable h models the height of the tree in centimeters T years since Renata moved in. How tall was the tree when she moved in? Well, what is this talking about? When she moved in. All right, why is it not? I want to underline. There we go. Do you know what that is? That is the y-intercept. Why? Because the y-intercept is the beginning of a situation. When she moved in, at the start, the initial bank account balance. These things are the y-intercept. And oh, by the way, the x-intercept, you know what that is? That's the end. You know, if you remember from our guest speaker, the time of total failure on that graph that he showed us, that was the x-intercept, the end of the situation. And so we want to know the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept? You already know. 210, right? Okay, y equals mx plus b. That's all you need to know. Okay, so You're going to do some function word problems, look at the equation, also be able to tell me the y-intercept, the slope. And now let's look at linear model word problems. So this is the point of it all, right? This is when we have a situation and we want to see, can we model it using mathematics? That's what we're here to do. Let's read it. When Vlad moved to his new home a few years ago, there was a young oak tree in his backyard. He measured it once a year and found that it grew 26 centimeters each year. Slope. Thank you. All right. There's my slope. 4.5 years after he moved to the house, it was that tall. And notice, if you are in the habit of looking at the units, as you should be, then we have two different units. And that tells us we have a coordinate, okay? So we also, let me tell you this, the slope is going to be, it's a number like m, and then it's y per x. So the first unit they tell you, if they give you the slope, is the y. The second unit they tell you is the x. So 26 centimeters each year, so per or each, whatever it is. So this is our y, and this is our x. You know the slope, you know which is x and y. Write that down. So we know that 4.5 is going to be an x, and this is going to be a y, 292. Are you with me? And then we know our slope is 26. So I'm just going to write y minus 292 equals 26, x minus 4.5, because I can, point slope form. All right, so how tall was the tree when he moved into the house? So that's the y-intercept. So I could just simplify this to slope-intercept form. How many years passed until the tree was that many centimeters tall? Centimeters is a y-coordinate. So they're saying y equals 357. So I would substitute 357 in for y and solve for that. It would look like this. 357 minus 292 equals 26 x minus 4.5. And then you would solve from there. That would be to answer this question. And the y-intercept, you can put in point slope or slope intercept form, or you should also know you can substitute 0 in for x and solve, and that would be your answer. So this problem was really just about solving equations and knowing what to set up. Aha, they want to know the slope, and they've given you 2 points. Oh, there were originally y-intercept, 13 seconds, 210 point. So they gave you 2 points, find the slope. How long did it take for him to drink all of his slushy? That's the end of the situation. That's the x-intercept. So you see, once you know that you're looking for the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the slope, once you know what to look for, becomes not too bad. All right, and then these two are still talking about this, except now we have 2 functions and we're comparing. Okay, so we have function 1, function 2, and make sure that you remember our acronym. So here they're giving us graphs, equations, and tables. I'm gonna phone. I don't know. One second. Hello? Well, it's a good thing I picked up that was a doctor's office for my son. All right. So G stands for graph. E, equation. T, table. Why am I bringing that up? Because here they give you a table, they give you an equation, and so yeah, you got to be able to find out what's what given any of the 3. But we know about the y-intercept that x equals 0. So there's the y-intercept there, and here's the y-intercept here, So once you know that, the equation or the problem becomes a little bit simpler. And here they gave us a table and a graph, but we've worked through how to find, all of these at some point in time. So now we're just putting it all together. It's a great assignment for you. And the same thing here. We have a table. Wow. And we have a situation. Okay. But I want you to take what I've said so far and see if you can identify what are they asking for, the y-intercept, the x-intercept, or the slope, and then try this again. So this one, just for an example here, last example about widgets. The two companies that were founded at the same time, started with 10 million, constant profit, 5 years, there was 6 million. So right now I'm seeing a y-intercept right here. I'm seeing a point right here. And I'm wondering if you see the same thing. All right, so which company started with a greater balance? So these guys started with that in debt. After 5 years, they were that in debt. Where's the other company? Oh, the graph. So there's a graph. So they started with negative $8 billion. And these guys started with $10 million. And was it million and million? Million, yeah. So then the answer would be Saskatchewan makes it greater, but that was the first. Manitoba has the greater starting balance because -8 is greater than -10. So remember, we have negative numbers, makes a greater yearly profit. So Saskatchewan, they gave you 2 points. The y-intercept is 0, -10, and 5, -6. Manitoba, they gave you a graph. You can find 2 points and then find the slopes and compare the slopes. All right, so I know that word problems are a little bit more difficult, but I also know that you can do it. And when you do, look, I'm back there too. It will be a great experience for you to be able to go out and apply your math and be a level 5 mathematician. And that's what we're here to do. I'll see you in class.